Dear viewers, I am Bins and welcome back to Let's Play SHAPEZ 2. We are at episode 35 in our series already, and last episode I left you with yet another announcement. That announcement was that I would look at the tasks and kind of come up with let's say a plan of attack, right? Because I figured that there was some master plan behind all of these upgrade shapes, and well, maybe that was a bit of a naive thought, perhaps, because it doesn't really appear to be the case all that much, or if there is, I'm not really seeing it. So I changed my strategy compared to what I announced it would be, and I decided to do the following. Well, first of all, the first thing I'm going to do is reconnect all of these belts. I had severed the connections so that I wouldn't, get any upgrades that you wouldn't be a part of. I think it's always nicer if that's the case. So let's reconnect that. I do have to admit that I left the blueprints connected, so now I have a very comfortable stash of blueprint points stacked, just so you know that I'm not trying to cheat you on purpose. That's what happened, right? Good, so back to my explanation. I thought I'm gonna create some resources and then I'm gonna take it from there. So my plan is actually to, let's say, expand the main area here by placing foundations around the vortex. So my gameplay thus far has always been to create the foundations in the vicinity of where I had my resources and then feed it into the vortex from there. I think what I want to do instead, and I've seen some players do this, so that's maybe an elegant approach, is just, to expand the central vortex area by means of these foundations. By the way, full transparency, full disclosure, I unlocked the 3x2 while you were away. So let's unlock this, and let's have a look at that other one later. So this is the first thing I want to get out of the way for that is all of these resources right here. These they take up my connections, and I want to put platforms here. So we're going to focus on those first, and then we're going to have a look at the other shapes. So the good news is that we can get rid of these connections, right? Let's have a look at... we can get rid of this in its entirety. Let's have a look at that. So that, right? We can get rid of that, and then we can also get rid of that. So that's good. And then we have these shapes right here. They're coming in. And they're gonna have to keep on coming in for a while. Good. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of that. And then we can get rid of that. So let me try to expand my platforms. And come to think of it, maybe I just want to do that going north. So let's try to just... I think I'm going to just expand it right here. Okay, so let me get to work. I am going to try to set up a system. I already made some preparations, but I'm going to rework them to get all of the resources I need near to the vortex. So for example, here I have, some belts at the ready with all of the possible shapes. Each of them should be full belt, I believe. And then I also have the colors. So let me get to work on a supply mechanism. Here we go. Alright, so that should be roughly it, I think. As you can see, I'm using mixed space belts for supply. It's the first time I've tried this, but I'm gonna try to set it up so, and I have tried to set it up so, that I can tap off any input without clogging the other, the other belts. And now I see that I might want to try to redo this. So another quick fast forward, or are we able to do it like so? This looks a lot better. So in the pursuit of this new strategy, I also made some new blueprints, and now I see that I haven't put my library up to speed yet. So I've made quadrant cutters, right? So I can easily chop up shapes into diagonals, for example, like so, right? So that we get the diagonals out of there. And what's the other one? The other one is not the diagonals, but a full belt of quadrants, right? Corners. So that should be that. Quick demonstration. There we go. And then, yeah, we get a full belt of quadrants out of there. So I made that in hopes of being able to make that more efficient. Then we do have another problem that I think I noticed, or I seem to remember, and that is that we do not have a single belt color station at the moment. So I'm very quickly going to do that. Let's see, what are my hotkeys for that? The painter, right? So I guess if we do it like this, and then just basically put it side by side like that. Is that something that should work? It should work, right? Something like this, and then we bring in the pipes from the top layer. And they don't need to connect because the connection between those two is already present, in case you didn't know that. So I'm going to move this to the interior, do it like so. Yeah, and that, as a basic blueprint, I think it should work fine. Good, then, as I said, my next step was to wait for these ones. Let's see how they're doing. I'm going to get rid of this. That was for testing purposes. So where are you guys coming in? Not there. Oh well, they're not coming in anywhere because we severed the connection. I feel like such a dork. No wonder. No wonder. So there we go. Okay, we're gonna have to wait around for that a little longer. Good. Back to the main story. So the thing I had in mind, in case you remember, is like one giant master plan for reusing all of these shapes, and I didn't really find that. Instead, what I did take some notes, and I'm gonna stick by them with a supposed strategy or a proposed strategy for getting all of these done. And for you, to make it easier to follow along, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna remove all of the pinned shapes, and I'm always going to put those on screen that I'm currently working on, and the other ones in their rows, so it will be easier for you to follow along, because yeah, I will be speed building a bit, and I'm gonna start off with these two. So I would say wish me luck, and then let's get to work. Here we go. quick intermezzo, I also decided that for this purpose right here, I want to unlock the fluid tank. Because, I don't know, the developer for some reason took storages out of Shapes 2, except for fluids. So fluids still exist in the form of, fluid storages exist in form of fuel tank. No, the fluid tank. There we go. Not the fuel tank. So yeah, I don't know what the idea was, but we can do it for fluids, we cannot do it for shapes. So I'm going to create a bit of a, a bit of a warehouse, let's call it, right here for my fluids. And I think that'll be easier to work with in the future as well. Since we have some backup, maybe we want to use more fluids than we're producing. So for those cases, you know, it would be convenient to have it like that.
Okay, 10 more to go on this one, and then we will be done with that. I'm gonna already unlock this, and then 2 more. There we go. And that one. And then we can finally get rid of this factory as well. Yes, let's delete that. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. Everything is okay. Good. Now I would like to see with which efficiency these shapes come in. Excuse me, why is that not displayed? There we go. It says 100%, but that can't be right because there are gaps in my line. There we go. So it's hovering around 70. And I think the issue, it has to do with my paint supply. Something with the capacities again. So I think these mixed belts, they were a good idea to save on platforms, but the choke point is, so the bottleneck is our fluid catcher right here, I believe. Right? Because we don't want these belts to be stalling at all. So I'm gonna have to do this differently. Now the question is how. I think I wanna maybe try to... not sure. I am not sure. I think I'm gonna have to try to put these belts onto several inputs. So if we... let's see, the fluid catcher. I'm gonna lay it out like that. And that. And then I'm gonna have to do the same thing here, and I think I can connect those belts, except, those pipes. Except that the problem is probably again the capacity issue. So the fluid catcher is actually our weak spot at this moment. So let's see if I can connect these pipes into, connect 4 inputs into one pipe every time. Is that something we could do? No, as a matter of fact, let's do it differently, because we've got 2 levels, don't we? We've got the 2 floors. So what I'm probably going to want to do is copy this onto the next floor and then make sure that it connects to its bottom counterpart. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And then we're going to try to do the same thing here. Maybe like so. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to start with the inner circle here. So, blue connects like that. Green. Alright, I get it. I'm just gonna do it like that then. Just keep a gap. Keep a gap. That'll be fine. And then I can, or I should be able to, set that up like so. Okay, so now I've got full throughput on these pipes, which means that I can connect each one to 4 outputs, to 4 launchers, and that will be a lot better in terms of supply and running stuff across. Okay, I think in terms of supply, this should be better now. Let's wait for that assessment, see if it's correct. We should be getting full belts out of this again. And if that's the case, well then finally we'll have full efficiency for this shape. However, once again, I feel like I keep saying the same things over and over and over and over again, but I underestimated how this would play out, how difficult this would be. I thought if I had 2 shapes of everything, like 2 incoming shapes, and then some paint, we could extract whatever we needed and get it set up quickly thanks to blueprints. But yeah, there seems to be a choke point every time. This is not going efficiently at all. Why is that? So again, it is stalling. Okay, but we do get full belts out of it. It just takes its time to process. How about the contents here? Yeah. Nothing's happening. So I think there is a throughput. I mean, there is a 100% efficiency throughput. Now it's become less because this is clogged, which means it's consuming less paint, and that's why this tank, or this tank, no, this one, is filling up slowly. Yeah. It goes up and down, but it stores more than it consumes at the moment. Okay, so it's just a waiting game then, because the belts are so darn slow. We also have to pay attention to the fact that, you know, everything takes its time to get onto the next, into the next module. And then, well, I was a bit ambitious with the space I thought I would need. Maybe we will still need it at some point in the future. But, yeah, as I said, I've underestimated it yet again. However, I do think that I will stick with this setup for the time being. Perhaps I should focus on getting more input. So maybe I will get in a second belt. Yeah, while these shapes come in, let's have a look at supplying a second belt. Maybe that's a good point of departure. Okay, this is taking its time. I mean, we are making progress, but yeah, well, I think this is just a learning curve, right? We were warned that it would be difficult and challenging because, after all, we are playing on insane mode, and that was definitely not a lie. But I think for today, I'm actually good. I think we're gonna call it a day here. Maybe next episode I'm gonna look for
yeah, increasing efficiency even more with the setups. And yeah, I guess we just take it at face value, take the challenges the way they come, and yeah, try to adapt whenever we're confronted with a new problem. After all, that is the challenge of the game, and I am enjoying it very much still, even though, you know, sometimes it feels like I'm getting demotivated, but that's definitely not the case. So I hope you're still enjoying these videos. If you haven't, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out and you can continue watching the rest of the series. And if not, in either case, I do wish you an excellent day. Thank you for watching. I've been Bins. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.